Oh, they finally do it? Did they finally approve a French government? And it's right-leaning? That rules. I hate Macron so much. Yeah. You know we're about to get the same thing in Canada, right? Canada looks like it's due for a gigantic right-wing sweep, as per my understanding. They just lost that election in Montreal. Yeah, that's correct. 9 out of 10 provinces are going conservative, 1 out of 10 being Quebec. Well, people here are blaming the housing crisis on immigrants. It's massively xenophobic. It's literally the same pattern every time with no exceptions. Ineffectual liberal governance, which is competent in the sense that they keep the lights on, but incompetent in that they have no idea how to address the needs and concerns and anxieties of an increasingly fearful world. Losing ground over time to the far right until suddenly there's a giant sweep. It happened with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton losing to Donald Trump. It's happening with Macron year by year, over and over again. It's happening with Germany right now, the SPD and the AfD. Like, the AfD winning, like, half of young people's votes or whatever. Will we ever break the cycle? Ask a liberal, not me. I'm not doing this. Because many lefties have no balls. No, this is entirely liberals' fault. This is not a lefty thing. My understanding is that Canadian lefties don't like Trudeau. I don't like Trudeau. How many strikes has Trudeau shut down on account of them being like nationally required workers? He shut down one last month. Yeah. Liberals actually vote though. Lefties vote for Jill Stein or don't vote at all. I think that like the popularity of Bernie Sanders kind of struck that down. We're not talking about Twitter lefties here. We're talking about like the broader interests of people who are comfortable and complacent with liberalism or people who want more. And a lot of people wanted Bernie Sanders. Look at these federal projections, dude. The Conservative Party, blue over here, 220 seats projected. Remarkable. Like apparently the guy, the guy who's likely to be the head of the conservative government, I saw a picture of him wearing a MAGA hat. Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre. French name, dude. Yeah. Apparently this is the guy who's looking, he's gonna be the big poobah. He doesn't deserve for you to say his name correctly. I'm not doing it as a bit. I just can't process this name. Leader of the official opposition since 2022. Looks like the dude who sexually harasses you at the bar. He does look like a bit of a frat bro rapist. I will say that. Phrenologically, you know, you've got a solid case for that argument. Yapperoni. Oh my god. Does he really deserve this many words? Well, he's probably going to end up running the government. Probably a majority too. When this all goes down, by the way, just keep in mind that this is Canadian liberals' fault. Okay? Trudeau has time and time again done nothing but inflame tensions by refusing to capitulate to populist or pro-labor politics. He has shut down like opposition from the left while failing to meaningfully address the growth of the right. And it is not lost on me, and this is personal experience, that the average Canadian liberal doesn't really have any political positions outside of Canada is better than America because they're more liberal than America. Ostensibly. Like, it really doesn't seem like there's much in the way of political convictions up there. At all. He doesn't have any policy. He just says verb the noun statements like axe the tax. He's basically our Trump and I'm terrified. Well, look, it's Canada. How serious can it be? He photoshopped his own picture to make him look more buff. And this is the picture he chose. He looks like a doughy baby. He chose this picture to make his arms look larger. That's not how that works. At your body fat percentage, you wouldn't have a clean distinction with the bicep. You would whatever. This was expanded under Trudeau. Issues outlined in UN report linking temporary foreign worker programs to slavery present in Saskatchewan. That had to be close enough. Pierre is quite anti-LGBT from my understanding. Well, maybe this will remind you haughty Canadians that you're not any better than us. You're actually quite a bit worse. At least left-leaning people, on average in America, have stronger convictions. Like, every election here in America is like a razor's edge in the right and left, just based on which side you're on, you know, partisan-wise. Whereas over there in Canada, you know, a ton of previous Trudeau voters are moving over to the right because, like, what do you believe? Saskatchewan. There you go. Never forget the discourse. I will never, ever forget any. That was crazy, dude. That was wild. hundreds of people in my community banned and ridiculed because I was opposed to Trudeau freezing the bank assets of anti-him protesters. Insane. And Trudeau is as essentially governed like this the entire damn time, you know, with the shutting down the strikes. Imagine being a tyrant over a single bridge closure. It was an important bridge, don't get me wrong, but like, Jesus, it clearly didn't solve the problem. Rail strike shut down last month, yeah. I mean, this to me tells you, it should tell you that Trudeau deserves to lose. Now, does he deserve to lose to the right? No, of course not. He should be beaten by the left. But this weakness that you're suffering from, this like spiritual sickness, I mean, you have to lay the blame at the feet of the liberals. You have to. How come liberal incompetence leads to the growth in the right instead of the left? Because the right has capital backing and the left doesn't. Also, Trudeau keeps shutting down the left. Trudeau's not shutting down the right, with the exception of the asset freezing, which all that really did was inflame anti-Trudeau like sentiment. You know, that didn't exactly make him popular with the conservatives. The way you build left power is through labor power, and every time there's even the slightest inkling of it, he shuts it down. 17 hours after the strike began, it was shut down. 17 hours! Why did they not just keep striking regardless? I think they could be arrested. What if they refuse to stop? I think they could, like, go to jail. Okay, and? Why are you telling me this? Go to Canada, go up to a striking worker and say, hey, want to be thrown in jail. Like, what do you mean? Can you please expand on leftist populism? To me, populism is very anti-intellectual and anti-establishment. Well, you know what they say about democracy, right? For the people, you know, by the people, but the people are? You know how it goes. That's how it is. I remember some dude in your chat saying that the truckers being loud was a form of terrorism. I mean, I would have been in favor of the police breaking it up, but then, like, the province wasn't cooperating. Honestly, like, if you take a huge economic hit on account of conservatives, I think you're better off just taking that hit. Like, the reason why Trudeau wanted to break up the bridge block so badly was because it was hurting the profits of corporations that relied on that trade. It's not like he gives a shit, you know, about, like, sometimes the most effective thing that you can do is let the other side hurt you and then sweat it out, right? Point to it. Oh, you don't like the fact that the economy practically got shut down for a week or two? Well, that's what they did because they hate you, you know? But Trudeau had to eat that negative sentiment up, you know, with the asset freezing, thereby taking attention away from the harm done by the actual, you know, bridge blockade. Yeah, that would have been pretty pog, any, for sure. Yeah, Common Llama, kind of. It was a little complicated. The harassment of the citizens of Ottawa was pretty bad. Yeah, but, like, shouldn't that reflect poorly on the Conservatives? Don't you think Justin Trudeau could have taken that as an excellent opportunity to demonstrate how destructive Canadian conservatism was to the country? Look, everyone, this is who the CPC endorses. These are the people, these are their greatest soldiers. Look at all the harm they're doing. Look at how recklessly they endanger you. Look at the noise they stir up. You know? The province won't deploy, you know, police or troops or whatever to deal with it because they're in league with it. They're okay with this. They're fine with you suffering. The only way I could intervene is by using dictatorial powers I refuse to use. You're all suffering at their behest. But you never hear language like this because liberals refuse to call conservatives out, ever. Because they're always handicapping themselves with this, like, insistence on civility. Conservatives wouldn't hesitate to do the same in the other direction. Look at how they've weaponized the Black Lives Matter protests, you know? You light a small fire in Portland once, people never shut the fuck up about it. But like, in an ongoing crisis, the bridge blockade, nah, noblesse, you got to commit to it way the fuck harder. Way the fuck harder. Every time I see, like, they talk about it a little bit, you know? I'm not even remotely satisfied with how hard the Democrats have gone after Republicans for January 6th, you know? I'm never satisfied. I'm exactly like Alexander Hamilton in the song Satisfied, where he's never satisfied. You understand. Here's the dangerous precedent we all predicted after the rail strike shutdown. Air Canada says government must block strike if pilot's deal can't be reached. Corporations directly bidding the government to shut down strikes if they can't prevent them themselves. Step 1 to stop a strike, offer them a 2.3% raise over 5 years. Step 2 to stop a strike, tell the government to shut it down, to make it illegal. That's great. Air Canada continuing to be the worst. I expect corporations to be the worst. Why is the government placating them? Yeah, Trudeau's a corporate lackey. And that's why he's going to lose. Well, that's why the Liberals are going to lose broadly. You know, not just him. It's mostly immigration. Nah, bullshit. It's never actually immigration. Canada is a strong country. It can handle immigration. They've let the right run rampant with their narratives about immigration being the big issue. But in reality, it's a lack of proper pushback from liberals. A lack of proper... The quality of immigrants in Canada is very high. Yeah, your immigrants aren't even like our immigrants, man. A ton of we eat up all of the unskilled labor that comes up from the like migrancy from the Caribbean and Central and South America and Mexico. What do you get up in Canada? Students? Oh, so you're saying unskilled people are low quality? I'm saying that if anyone has a right to complain, it's us, and we don't have a right to complain. The immigrants to America benefit America, objectively. And I've made this argument 1,000 times. But your immigrants are of a higher level of education, more likely to speak your language. What are you complaining about? Housing prices are going up. Then build more houses, you morons! So much land to do so? Yeah, no kidding. Canada's annual immigration rate is close to 500,000 new immigrants, which is one of the highest in the world relative to population. Yeah, because Canada has far fewer people than we do. So, like, who are those immigrants? Predominantly designed to attract skilled workers from all over the world, recent immigrants to Canada tend to be well-educated, with around 2/3 having a university degree. 2/3? 2/3 of your new immigrants have a university degree? Are you kidding me? Jesus! Despite this, unemployment among immigrants have on average been 1 percentage point higher than that of natural-born Canadian citizens. That's not that bad. However, the longer immigrants have lived in Canada, the more likely they are to be employed. Okay. India was the most common country of birth for foreign-born people in Canada, followed by the Philippines. Okay. Damn. If only the Liberal government had dedicated more political capital to building new housing and less to shutting down strikes. 2/3 have degrees, but none get to practice. Doctors coming in from Africa, Asia, Middle East are not allowed to practice here and usually end up being Uber drivers. Why are they not allowed to practice here? Are you not allowed to do high-skilled jobs as an immigrant in Canada? License can't transfer? They don't recognize the diploma? This seems like a massive skill issue to me, dude. It's literally like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over again. Like, the United States does this too. Yes, we do. And I have criticized our policy with immigration many, many times. Though clearly it's hurting Canada more. Our economy is a lot more robust than yours. The US doesn't limit the number of doctors or engineers. No, it's like we limit the number of like medical student graduates. But if doctors come in from other countries, I'm pretty sure they're often allowed to practice. I know the United States recognizes medical degrees from other countries, of course. Just whatever. It's so stupid. So stupid. Don't compare Canada to the most powerful country in the world. Why not? They like comparing themselves to us. Whatever. This is a deserved loss. Not to the right, but, you know, in general. Yeesh. Know its standards. They need to take a course on medical standards in Canada. Canada has an express entry for doctors specifically. I will admit, like, obviously this is not a subject that I'm an expert on. I know that Canada has a lot of issues when it comes to, like, immigration, integration, what their responsibilities are. I understand this. I'm sure there are a lot of caveats to the system I'm unaware of. I wouldn't, you know, say otherwise. I could spend like 6 hours trying to learn about it, or I could wave my hand now and say F liberals. And I think personally, I'm leaning towards the latter. I will never, ever give credit to the Québécois, Lufert. Never. I hate the liberals, but we have to remember that in Canada, the provinces determine a lot of the politics. Yeah, like states in America, to be sure, but it would be Trudeau's fault if previously liberal provinces ended up voting in predominantly conservative local governance, right? Like, that would be symptomatic of Trudeau losing the public's trust if they lost a bunch of, like, local elections. Can we see a Canada population map? It's just a little strip. Can't really blame them, considering how, you know, cold most of their country is. With the exception of, like, the Vancouver area. It's pretty much just all right here. Foreign medical degrees are not recognized outright. Foreign doctors must go through residency and credential authorization. Through residency? That's crazy, dude. Forcing like a 63-year-old doctor who's worked in Nigeria for like 25 years to go through residency again? I understand like certifications or like I understand some level of like re-upping the standard, but yeah, apparently they don't even have high-speed rail running along here from Toronto to Halifax. That'd be a good idea. They do have rail, but it's kind of slow. Like Canada is naturally the line. You know, like the Saudi Arabia, the line. Like, because you're all in the area where you don't die in the winter, for the most part. I mean, you basically, like, from Victoria, Vancouver, Edmonton, and then right back down to the border of the United States. Like, there's a green line right here that's literally like, this is the line. That's always how it is, Dive. Whenever you have any kind of, like, federalism, people blame the problems conservatives caused, like, up top. But, you know, often this just gets horrendously mismanaged by... Whatever.